So what are you doing to live life abundantly? What does the quality of your relationships look like? How about your job or career? Are you engaged in your work for more than just a financial reward? Well, as I mentioned last week in this video, I'm going to be covering the Lisa Nichols book, Abundance Now. And we're moving on to chapters 3 and 4, where she covers 2 of the 4 E's. That is enchantment and engagement. In this section of the book, Lisa talks about what it looks like to foster meaningful relationships and maintain a positive mindset about your job or career. And in this video and in the next 2 videos, I'm gonna go over how you can amplify your life to achieve prosperity. So I hope you'll stay tuned to get the scoop on how Lisa Nichols says, and I quote, "You can go from a place of scarcity, feeling like you don't have enough, don't know enough, or somehow aren't enough, to a place of prosperity and abundance by maximizing 4 key areas of your life." Hi guys, it's reginareneewilliams and welcome back to my channel, where I share the best insights and advice on mental health and mindset and help you maintain your mental wellness and positivity in both your personal life and career. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I upload a new video every Tuesday. And I'd love for you to check me out on Instagram and join my community of followers, where I post 3 microblogs per week on mental health and mindset. And you might as well cruise on over to inspiringwordsofregina.com, where I post full-length blogs on mental health and wellness and share my story on how mental illness has impacted my life. All right, so again, if you joined me last week, you already have a pretty good introduction of who Lisa Nichols is. So if you're familiar, I'll be brief. But for my new viewers, I wanted to give them a tidbit before we get into chapters 3 and 4. All right, so Lisa Nichols is a New York Times best-selling author of No Matter What, and is a reoccurring motivational speaking coach on the Steve Harvey Show and the Today Show. Not to mention, she's a featured teacher in the self-help movie, The Secret. And she teaches, coaches, and lives a collection of life's principles, beliefs, and habits that inspire people to live richer, better, fuller lives. All right, so let's get into it. So last week, we covered or introduced the first E, which was enrichment. And this week, we're going to move on to the next 2 E's, which are enchantment and engagement. And the first 3 topics I'm going to discuss involve that second E, enchantment. So topic number 1, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. So in this section of the book, Lisa talks about how we are not on this journey alone. We have friends, family, colleagues, advisors, employees even, who are taking this ride on the journey with us. So now they may support you, criticize you, challenge you, or even limit you. But how we relate to them directly impacts our quality of life. So Lisa goes on to say how our relationships are in direct relation to the quality of our lives. Even more so, they are essential to how abundantly we can live. Because if we include people in our lives mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they can potentially amplify all areas of our life. Whether it be giving you space to be your authentic self, being fearless, or even stretching you to be a better version of yourself. Either way, our relationships are very impactful to how abundantly we can live. You want your relationships to inspire you and hold you accountable to be the person you are becoming. She talks about, and I quote, "Abundant relationships are those where you can take off your superhero cap and where you don't have to be everything to everybody." She mentions how these kinds of relationships, there should be no judgment either. And basically, it should hold you tight but give you space to breathe. Topic number 2, create a new community. Now, when Lisa talks about this, she doesn't necessarily mean that you need to start dropping old friends or disconnecting from loved ones. Which she does mean that, if you intend to start living a life of abundance that you seek, you need to start creating a new community. And what she means by community is, and I quote, a group of like-minded, forward-thinking, and evolved people who are invested in seeing you prosper, not so much financially invested, but psychically, energetically, and emotionally invested for sure. This ensures that you are aligned with others who are winning, and both your achievements and theirs can help people in that community feel, hopeful about their own future. Not to mention that living abundantly means that your community, has supportive individuals that will serve you, and you can reciprocate that service as well. They are your sounding boards for anything new you want to do because they understand you and know that you are both trying to achieve the same thing. So Lisa talks about how we should be intentional about what we want in these communities because we're spending our time, talent, and treasures in them. This way we can foster a community of nurturing relationships built on a common goal. Something else she talks about is that, a community has a few strong hallmarks: optimism, vitality, loyalty, family focus, creativity, and compassion. And these are all important characteristics to an abundant future. All right, guys, so I've been talking for a little while now. So I want to go ahead and do a pulse check and see if you guys are still with me. So go ahead and comment down below with meaningful relationships if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Topic number 3, establish boundaries in your relationships. Yeah, Lisa talks about how establishing boundaries are so critical. They help you maintain your peace, your love, and joy. And they also prevent any chaos, pain, or hurt, disagreements, or disappointments. She uses the example of, boundaries being like the bumper rails at a bowling alley. You put those bumper rails there to make sure that ball gets all the way to the end and hits those pins without, falling in the gutter. So your boundaries are kind of like you saying, hey friend, I think we need to stay in these lanes. These lines are comfortable to me. And if, you go past them or over them, our relationship just might go in the gutter. I'm just kidding. But pretty much that's what you're saying. You're just setting, boundaries in which you want to remain with that relationship. You should try to think of boundaries as agreements rather than rules. And what those will look like will be different within each relationship. But they should include respectful communication, acknowledgement of one another's feelings, respectful of time, and workplace boundaries. All right, so we're moving into chapter number 4 of the book where Lisa talks about work engagement. So topic number 4, your job is the investor in your breathtaking future. So what Lisa talks about is that we should think of our jobs as investors in our dreams, or put very simply, as funding our dreams. Now I know, we all have bills to pay and families to raise, but this mindset is required in order to live abundantly. She also goes in to say that you should know exactly what it would take, to make this dream come true. So whether it's starting a community organization or opening up a coffee shop, you need to know how much you need to put away, either monthly or bi-weekly from your 9 to 5 to make this happen. You just need to be vigilant and, set a goal and stick to it. If you recall from last week's summary, where I mentioned that Lisa used to write herself a check that, had in the memo line, funding my dream, before she even knew what the dream was. So she has mastered that mindset, and that is why she can talk about it so candidly in her book, because she's talking from her own experiences in doing it. Topic number 5, balance is a myth and harmony is a must. I love this one. Oh my goodness, isn't that all we ever hear? I need a work-life balance. We need a work-life balance. I know I've said it many times, but the fact of the matter is, it's just not possible. I'm always striving for it, but never can quite seem to reach it. And you know, that can lead to some crazy frustration and disheartening feelings. But you know, Lisa shares with us one of the statements from one of her mentors, Ivan Misner, who says, "Lisa, balance is a myth and harmony is a must." Okay, so the way she breaks this down is that realistically, we only have a certain amount of time in any given day. And while we all have the same 24 hours, we, use it differently because all of our lives are different. But the way she uses the examples is that she lays out how much time it typically takes, with each area of our life per day. And she goes on to say, and I quote, "Let's say your career requires you to work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in a typical day. That's 10 hours or about 42% of your day. Add 8 hours for sleep, and that takes up another 33% of your day. Then there's the approximate 3 hours per day taken up by tasks such as community, running errands, eating meals, which is about 13%. And what's left is just 12% of your day for the life portion of work-life balance." So as you do the math, you can see how it can be challenging, but you want to be of the mindset that whatever you do in that time with whoever you spend it with, that it gives you what you need, and also you give them what they need. You need to set systems in place and boundaries to ensure this happens. Topic number 6, create abundance in your work before moving on to the final step. So Lisa closes out the topic of engagement by saying if we apply these insights to our, career or business, we will move forward to living abundantly and also start doing what we were called to do with joy and enthusiasm. I, for one, can understand why this mindset is a must because it gives our lives purpose and meaning. Relationships and how we feel about our job or career is crucial to our mental well-being. So in order to embark on this thing, this journey we call life, an understanding of that mindset requires our attention to succeed. Not to mention, before we move on to next week's E, endowment, we need to understand how this mindset is important as well. All right, so now that you have these 4 chapters and 3 of the 4 E's under your belt, go check out my full-length blog at inspiringwordsofregina.com titled Abundant Life Achieved or Not, where I provide additional bonuses that are in the book and talk about my personal experience with using the mindset of funding my dream and how I've implemented this thought process in my work life. The link is in the description below. And don't forget to go check me out on Instagram at reginareneewilliams. And go ahead and grab those free downloads in the description below about breaking down your mental health and mental health mindfulness at work checklist. And also, I still have that link there for my Rich in Mental Health merchandise, where there's a variety of products and clothing styles to choose from. So go check that out as well. If you are new to my channel, please go check out these 2 videos on shifting your mindset to live abundantly and ending the stigma of mental health. And subscribe and like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when I upload a new video every Tuesday. All right, talk to you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.